Hello and welcome back. This is Jacob with a narration of the Arknights mini-event stories in the event Vigilo. And without further ado, let's begin. This is story number 2, titled Memoria. "4:11 p.m. Overcast, visibility 10 kilometers. Rhode Island Landship Medical Cabin. Remove the electrodes. What's the prognosis? No new developments. Dr. Jacob, I've scanned your brain 7 times over the past month or so, and the results are always the same. There's nothing wrong with your medial temporal lobe, and the neurons in the brain areas are as active as they are in most young people. Meaning, you don't need to come to medical for these unpleasant tests so often. Then what's wrong with my memory? There's no doubt that you have lost a lot of memory. Even someone like you wouldn't be able to manipulate the results. Those memories are episodic, chiefly concerning the subjective awarenesses of your identity, and even more so about all your experiences before you fell asleep in the Chernobog sarcophagus. In contrast, your procedural memory has recovered extremely quickly. From my reports to Amia's and Doberman's observations, this conclusion is clear. Your ability to command and exhibit during the Chernobog incident is not significantly worse than before. In other words, I'm still useful. To Rhode Island, you are far more than just useful. Even if you truly lost all your memories and became an ignorant bystander, Amia would not have regretted saving you, and there will always be a place for you at Rhode Island. In any case, I believe that the skills you possess will play just as key a role as they did in the past. I want to be able to help Amia. I know. And I've seen how hard you've been working. After leaving Lungman and we've been making our way through the wastelands for some time. The operators need an opportunity to rest, Amia in particular. Likewise, you also need a chance to catch your breath, don't you? I just want some time to adjust. With PRTS to help you, it won't take long for you to adapt to your work at Rhode Island. However, I don't want you to push yourself. Rhode Island is not the only thing that has just emerged from a terrible disaster. You have as well, Dr. Jacob. Your physical indicators have more or less returned to normal, but your memory is still damaged and your mental state is unstable. As a patient, overwork can only harm you. Amia is also a patient. Amia knows you're concerned about her, and she's been paying more attention to her health lately. I have no choice but to admit, there are some areas in which your words hold more weight than mine. Dr. Jacob, in the span of one short month, you've taken over the staffing of several departments on this ship. In addition, I've seen you reviewing past battles together with combat operators to further explore the possibilities of tactical optimization. You've even been reading during this entire examination. Are you looking at the briefing submitted by the new operator who just reported in a few days ago? Furthermore, I've seen your notes. Those records about even the most trivial of the operator's details, those flashes of tactical inspiration. Those calculations for determining Rhode Island's business efficacy, and even those scrawls that I can't make sense of. They are all evidence of your commitment to your duty. Although most of these tasks can be completed with the assistance of PRTS, I think this is your preferred method. It's just a way to organize my thoughts. As the density of your notes increases, your cognition also improves. All of your abilities are recovering rapidly, not only due to the retention of your procedural memory, but also due to your extraordinary efforts. Conscious exercise will help your brain return more quickly to your pre-comatose state, and may even bring back your memory faster than expected. Do you want me to recover as quickly as possible? I am your doctor. There's not a doctor out there who does not wish for the quick recovery of her patient. That said, if you end up collapsing due to overwork, you'll disrupt Amia's condition as well. I see, you do care about me. These sentiments of yours that occasionally leak through are quite unlike the past you. While this is rather intriguing, if I am the object of your feelings, let's just say we've no need of that. I've told you many times over that ensuring your physical and mental well-being has always been one of my duties. So yes, even here, I still care about you, even without a battle. It's strange that you talk to me like this. Today's exam is over. As I said, you don't need to report back here at the same time next week. The regular morning and evening checkups will continue for a while. Lancet 2 will look after you for me. If you ever find that your physical condition does not support your continued work, you must immediately return to medical. As for now, you may return to your work, Doctor. "4:32 p.m. Overcast, visibility 7 kilometers. Rhode Island Landship hallway outside the bridge. Earth Spirit, what brings you here? I've updated the geological monitoring report I submitted this morning. You need to make an adjustment so soon? That's unlike you. The numbers changed quickly, made me miss my afternoon nap. Forward the report to your team leader. My recommendations are at the bottom. Sure. Strong winds warning, is it? That's no problem. The engineering department strengthened the storm shutters 2 days in advance, and logistics notified everyone to stay away from the at-risk deck areas. That's not all. Keep reading. Huh? There might be a strong windstorm ahead of our route? Should we slow down or make a detour? How dangerous is this windstorm you're talking about here? I don't know. I looked at anomalies in the data and made my best call. All I know for sure is there's more than one cyclone forming ahead, and it's far more intense than anyone would expect. Sounds pretty vague. We set our route a month ago. It's already been approved. We're looking at a big mess if we change it on the fly. You were in the meeting, right? We chose the route for its super low risk profile. Over the last decade, caravans from Lugman to Lithania have been back and forth over this route dozens of times. Yes, in theory we've avoided the catastrophe-prone areas, and the probability of encountering danger is low. But you're also not sure. The bosses want us as far away from Ursus and Lungman as soon as possible. Whatever, I just need to make sure you got my warning. Deciding what to do is not in my job description. That's up to you. Settle down, Earth Spirit. We've got protocols. I'll notify the team leader and we'll discuss. There's no time for that. Huh? Doctor, why are you here? Shouldn't you be in your office? I was going up to the bridge. Now that's some coincidence. If you're taking the report, are you going to explain the situation to our team leader in person? The situation is urgent. I'll let Amia know. What? It's that serious? Oh, that's not good. Doctor, do you believe me? I believe my operators. Then I'll go to the bridge with you. I'll continue to observe the situation in real time and report to you and Amia. Good. That's the best option. This has been the scope of my duties. 4:39 p.m. Overcast, visibility 4 kilometers. Rhode Island Landship, bridge. Warning, the wind speed is increasing rapidly. At these numbers, our visibility is going to fall under 1 kilometer within a few minutes. Did you turn on assisted driving functions for sandstorm mode? You've had it on for a while. It was part of the itinerary. But this might not be an ordinary storm. My god. What is it, Pavel? Sensors detecting thunderstorm clouds ahead. Open the PA. Tell the whole ship that the Rhode Island will pass through a thunderstorm shortly, and raise the alert level by 1. Central Command personnel, slow us down right now. We're rocking a lot. What's the situation? The pressure on the whole side panel is skyrocketing. 70% of the outermost storm shutters have been damaged and are basically failing. Also, multiple abnormal heat sources detected near the hull. Energy amplitude approaching critical threshold. Does this mean... Yes, it's a catastrophe. Dr. Jacob, how can this be? No time to explain. Alright, I got it. All hands, activate code catastrophe alert. Evacuate all personnel on the first deck, bridge excluded. Gather all non-engineering personnel from the 2nd to 6th levels in the central area safely. Central control, maintain minimum speed cruising. Navigator, how long will this desert thunderstorm last? These sudden onset storms usually pass within an hour or two. It's hard to say for sure. Doctor? Earth Spirit? Earth Spirit, your analysis? Yes, Doctor. Mr. Pavel, the doctor gave you the report I completed an hour ago. Multiple small cyclones within 2 kilometers? This doesn't bode well. This catastrophe is no ordinary desert thunderstorm. We could be looking at a maximum strength windstorm. Can I borrow one of the sensors on the bridge? Of course. I should have seen it myself. It's alright, Mr. Pavel. This is an extremely abnormal phenomenon and well beyond the scope of normal catastrophe predictions. An experienced catastrophe messenger would have some trouble spotting all the signs in time. If not for the doctor's assistance, I would have treated the outliers as errors and glossed up over them. We still have time to move things in the right direction. Doctor, Amia, the small cyclones ahead are converging and intensifying. In other words, the core of the multi-cyclone vortex is about to generate. Once the core forms, I estimate the cyclone will reach 2 kilometers in diameter and at least 7 to 8 hours. What happens if Rhode Island maintains its speed as it approaches the core? If we come into contact with the vortex, the ship's hull may collide with high-speed active originium dust, roughly equivalent to the simultaneous detonation of hundreds of maximum payload originium bombs across the bulwark. I'm sure you can guess how that might go for us. Do we have enough time to change course? I can try. The core of the windstorm changes directions very quick, and we can reach a maximum speed of nearly 1000 kilometers per hour. But there's no point in us trying. Amia, even if we try a full speed retreat, if we get unlucky with the direction, Rhode Island won't escape the storm. And it seems like the only thing we can do is stay put. Mr. Pavel, give me a potential damage assessment. If we spend 7 hours in a thunderstorm of a similar scale, the first to 6 decks will be damaged, maybe 15%. Of those, the first deck will take the hardest hits, and casualties are likely. It will be the biggest loss a ship takes in a year, but I don't see any options. There is a way. Doctor? We won't have to take damage. Yes, if we have to stop in the wastelands, we could face other threats. We have another choice. Doctor, are you suggesting we continue straight ahead? That's out of the question. Visibility is too low. Even with assisted driving, I can't navigate. I'm from Sargon. Plunging headfirst into a sandstorm like this is suicide. I understand your concern, Mr. Kamel. But I trust the doctor. Dr. Jacob, are you sure about leading Rhode Island through a catastrophe zone? I need Earth Spirit to keep calculating the real-time coordinates of the vortex. Good. Please cooperate with the doctor. Calculating a safe route in such a short time sounds like a bad joke. If anyone can do it, it's our doctor. I've heard stories of the battles and all, but operating a landship is nothing like field command. I don't know about this. Of course I don't doubt the doctor's abilities, but I've never heard of this real-time calculation method. It just might work. Earth Spirit, can you make sense of the doctor's formulas? No. But they feel a bit familiar. Right. I heard about a similar formula from some whiskey a couple days ago, but the doctor's version is more complicated and varied. I've given a route to the navigator. Let's head forward then. I'll help. I'll help you issue instructions. No, Doctor, that would be too inefficient. Rhode Island only needs one commander right now. From the moment I saw you appear on the bridge, I trusted that the situation would definitely turn around. Attention everyone on the bridge. From now on, I am transferring command of the Rhode Island landship to Dr. Jacob. Notify Closure and have her put all cabins into emergency saving mode. Got it, Doctor. Message from Closure. The engine is ready and she wishes us good luck. There's nothing wrong with going a little crazy every now and then. If I knew I'd be sailing like this, I would have brought some booze. Rhode Island, all ahead full. I'm getting a nosebleed from this speed. That's because I elbowed your nose. Sorry, but the whole place is shaking so much I can't control my limbs. Is the seismic dampener malfunctioning? Looks like my imagination. The whole ship's falling apart. Earth Spirit, you haven't taken your eyes off the screen at all. Cyclone number 2 is continuing to move 30 degrees southeast. Cyclone number 3. Cyclone number 4. Doctor, hold my hand. I've got you, Amiya. Doctor, did I step on your foot? Don't worry about it, you can hold it even tighter. Are we shaking less? Hard right, now! Ah, didn't even notice that strong wind just now. If you caught us, there's no telling if we would have been able to stabilize the hull at this speed. Did the downburst make contact with the ground? Only 2 minutes until the core of the storm forms. Maintain current trajectory and keep moving forward. Wait, I see the cyclone. There's one on the left and another on the right. You're surrounded. Rhode Island is going to collide in just 2 or 3 more minutes. Keep going. It's impossible to avoid them. We don't have enough space to maneuver. Trust me. I'm trying real hard, Doctor. But I don't trust myself so much. Forget it. If Amiya's with you, I'm on board too. Even if I have to tie my hand to the steering handle, I'll keep pushing it forward until the very end. I just regret agreeing to swap shifts with that stinky lad, George. "75 meters, 50 meters, 30 meters. I've seen a catastrophe cycle up close before. Doctor. Amiya, are you afraid? I'm a bit nervous, but I'm not afraid. We've been through times like this together before. The closer we might be to despair, the bigger everyone's hopes are, the more incredible the outcome will be. Doctor, this is what you taught me. Hope comes from the commitment to never give in, even at the bitter end. Yes, Doctor, you once said the exact same words. Red alert, red alert. Attention everyone, prepare for impact. Just like before, we'll get through this crisis together. Look. The wind is subsiding. The color of the sky is changing too. Report. Rhode Island has left the catastrophe zone. The damage to all deck levels is less than 5% and nobody was injured. Thank goodness. My nose hurts. Pavel, do you know you hit my nose again? So what if I did? We're alive, I say. Alive! Fine, but you owe me a drink. Whatever you want is on my tab. I almost made a big mistake. Doctor, it's all thanks to you. Absolutely brilliant calculations, Doctor. Doctor, is your command always so thrilling? Ha! I'd like to get another taste of that sometime. Doctor, how in the world did you pull that off? It's like you've got prophetic arts or something, suddenly showing up on the bridge right before we get hit by a catastrophe. To be fair, I was pretty anxious through the whole thing. Doctor. Amiya hugs you suddenly, and you realize that the hands on your waists are squeezing you tighter than they were at any point during the storm. Thank you. Thank you for standing by my side. Not half bad. Thanks. The relationship between the self-replication speed of Originium and the increase in energy. You applied this knowledge to the calculation of wind catastrophe trajectories. You demonstrated similar abilities in the past, helping you colleagues at the time mitigate... Sorry, restart. You demonstrated similar abilities in the past, helping your colleagues at the time mitigate losses from catastrophes. Some called you a catastrophe expert. But we both know what you really specialize in. What do I specialize in? That formula. You still remember it. It jumped right into my head. You created that formula yourself. You've recovered a lot of information about Originium and catastrophe over the past month, and you left a lot of calculations in your notes. Perhaps the sudden crisis dredged up the latent memories from deep inside your consciousness. Or perhaps you reinvented it using the knowledge you left behind. The fact that you could recall this formula proves that you still retain a basic understanding of the nature of Originium. In other words, you've never forgotten your identity as a researcher of Originium. I want to continue the slide on research. You may see the study of Originium as your duty, but know that our actions should never be restricted by duty alone. Dr. Jacob, what drives you to pursue the study of Originium so fervently? I want to bring an end to this calamity. I once heard an answer to this question. It was very similar to what you said today, but also completely different. The person who uttered those words had an instinctive desire to unravel truths unknown, and also work hard to save lives. But sometimes salvation also meant destruction. That is what the same person told me. Do you still harbor that same answer deep within your brain? Does it still count as being there even if I don't remember it? Amiya said your performance on the bridge today was much like that of an actual prophet. The rational part of me wants to believe in science. When the result of your first brain examination came back, I thought I saw some errors in the process, and so there was a second time, a third time, and even a seventh time. The rational part of me told me that repeating the same result 3 times was enough to prove that you weren't lying. Without a shadow of a doubt, you really did lose a lot of your memories. You don't remember what you did to Theresa, and you forgot why you were standing here in the first place. All of this has caused a significant dichotomy between you and the person I once knew. But just like I allowed you to do the 7th test, in this moment I once again find myself doubting who exactly is standing in front of me. How much of the past remains, and how much of you blooms anew? You're being sentimental again. Perhaps I won't deny it. Dealing with you always has a tendency to sway my emotions. But this is also born of extreme rationality. I hope you understand. There can be errors in our measurements. And in your case, I can no longer tolerate any errors. There's something I wanted to ask for a long time. Setting aside your role as doctor, do you want me to regain my memories? Situations are rarely black and white, and the same is true of human emotions. I've not concealed my hatred for you in the past, but no matter how much I hate to admit it, there is something else there too. You're searching for the truth of the past? Without a doubt, I seek that answer. Ideally, I want to hear the truth from your mouth, but I will not give up looking for that truth in other ways. Now, it's my turn to ask you. Dr. Jacob, do you want your memories back? I do. Your answer doesn't matter. I see your hesitation. Once your memories come back, many of your questions will be answered. However, not every answer will satisfy you. You will know where all the emotions pouring into you come from, whether it is the hatred from me and W, the unconditional trust from Amiya, or even further back. Excess memories, intense emotions, will instantly flood your entire brain. Trust me, what you will feel at that time will be far greater than exhaustion. What you should fear even more is, when the past finally catches up to you, you must decide. What if those memories are too strong and engulf all hard work you've put in recently, and pull you back into the abyss that you failed to crawl out of over years? Once the current you is defeated, everything you've worked so hard to build will collapse, and your will may no longer be your own. So let me ask you once more. Dr. Jacob, are you ready? If luck is on our side, you won't need to answer this question anytime soon. I want to thank you. Over the past month or so, you've shown me some new possibilities. Especially today, I learned that you still remember the formula. It turns out you and I are not the only ones preparing for that day. I suspected this long ago, that home use live functions restoration device was not supposed to have the defect of deleting one's memory. In particular, it's possible to selectively delete the part of the brain most likely involved in decision making, but still retaining the parts most meaningful to you. Dr. Jacob, what I think is, She trusted you even more than I could fathom in the past. That being the case, we should continue to work hard. Just as I've said countless times already, I will help you, as long as we continue to stand together. 7:43 p.m. Overcast. Rhode Island Landship Command Center. Professor, are you here? Fiala? Come in. Professor, they said you wanted to see me. This is for you. Is it about my application to become an operator? Oh, it's been approved. That's great news. Everyone said you and Miss Amia would turn me down because of my condition. I convinced her. I see. You even went out of your way to get it approved? Thank you. The briefing you submitted this morning helped Rhode Island through a crisis. You mean the catastrophe this afternoon? Professor, did you read my analysis? Your originium vein expansion observation was incredibly accurate. It was just a hunch. They said the density of originium near the surface around here would be very low, but I saw the same situation in a volcano in southern Lithuania. Even a small amount of originium proliferates rapidly over a brief period when the conditions are right. 2 days ago, after finishing my daily treatment, I was walking around the dorms as usual when I saw the approaching phenomenon from the dust samples on the porthole. In sandy terrain, a sudden burst in originium energy will cause the ground temperature to rise rapidly, leading to a significant increase in the possibility of large-scale winter catastrophes. I'm sorry, I can go on and on about this stuff. Please continue. You've already seen the report, right? Busy as you are, I never expected you'd read our random notes. I also read your thesis. Professor, are you interested in my research? If you're not too busy, I'd love to stay over and have a nice chat with you again. You're welcome to look around. There are so many books on your desk. Annals of the Great Yan Classics, A Tower Without a Legend, Columbia Judicial Observation Notes, Conquest and Assimilation. Professor, are these the books you normally read? Your interests are so diverse. It's something like the bookcases of the other professors I know. I think this one will interest you the most. These are your catastrophe research notes? Just something to read over. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll study these thoroughly. If I have any questions, may I come to talk to you? Anytime. The young scholar clutches the notes you handed her tightly, lifts her head, and looks at you with conviction-filled eyes. Professor, my life has been a series of wonderful surprises since coming to Rhode Island. The stability of my oripathy has given me a lot more confidence about my future, and people like you have given me the hope to keep moving forward. If you're working so hard, then what reason do any of us have to give up? Professor, thank you so much for leading Rhode Island forward and on into the future.